Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a Pinterest experiment where I will be doing uploading 5 pins on Pinterest for a whole week, every single day, to see what the effect of it is. The reason for this is because I've recently started using Pinterest more seriously, and I can see that there is a growth from the uploads that I've been doing of pins and so on. So I think that this would be quite a good experiment to see what happens. So as you can see, I'm just uploading each of these pins, 35 in total, over the 7 days, and scheduling these. I really like that Pinterest has this feature where you can schedule in the future for the pins to be uploaded. So that's a really cool thing, because that means you can just manage your time like that. So finally, after 3 long hours, I've now completed this, and I didn't realize it would actually take me so long. I think the part that took the longest was putting individually tags on each of the pins. So I think that's what took the longest, but at least it's all done now and it's scheduled. I really like that I can schedule for the future. Let's see how it works out in a week's time. I will check the difference between now and in a week's time. So it is now middle of the week from the time that I started this challenge, and so I wanted to do a sort of midweek checkpoint to see where I'm up to and whether there were any improvements. So as you can see here, the overall impressions before were 692, and now I've got 953. That's actually not bad. It means that my content is actually showing up in front of more people, and it's gone up to even 1,000 people if you round it. And then the engagements, not so much, only about 6 more. Outbound clicks did not really change, but I will come back to this. Saves are also the same. They didn't change, and the overall audience has increased as well compared to before. The engaged audience has increased by 2, which I'm not sure is so much, but we'll see. And you can see from the graph here, this is when I wasn't really taking Pinterest seriously, and then I started doing a few posts and it started going up. And then this was the peak of it, and this is around when I started the challenge. So you can see here, we're still at quite a high, and then it's just gone down, I think. But it's still higher than baseline. If you look at the overall graph, it's still a bit higher. But again, I'm not feeling that there is a massive improvement. We'll see after a week though, and we'll see how it works. But for the outbound clicks, I just wanted to say on Etsy, I've actually found that I think Etsy might not be picking up that it's actually Pinterest that it's coming from, but I can see on Etsy that there's actually a high amount of people are directly clicking. So it's direct traffic, and they're directly clicking on my website, and I think that it's most likely coming from Pinterest, but it's just that Etsy is not picking it up as being a Pinterest thing. I'm not sure why that's happening, but that's what I found. I think there's no other reason why that number would be going up, but the direct traffic has gone up. So I don't think this is so much of an accurate number. I think this number is definitely higher than what you can see here. Let's just have a look at the engagements. So the engagements have also relatively stayed the same as they were right from the start, actually, of when I started this whole Pinterest thing. At the peak, it was there, and then this is around when I started it, and you can see it's just, there's not really much of a result here. But overall, I think I'm just going to observe the audience and the impressions have definitely increased, which is a positive. It means that my content is actually showing up to a lot more people, which is, I think that's a good sign to take. So this is the final update, and it is now 1 day past the 7-day experiment period, and I'm just looking to see what effect this has had of uploading 5 posts per day on Pinterest and seeing what this does. So as you can see here, this was the before, right at the start, before I started this, and this is the last end result. So you can overall see, when I look at the graph, it doesn't look very promising, so it seems like it's going down. I think it hasn't still counted today's, as it is only the start of today, but you can see that there is some sort of consistency compared to before, where it was just a few here and there, a few views here and there, and now you can see it is showing up a lot more on people's Pinterest pages. And you can see the impressions here have gone up, so it's 1.17k, it's double the amount already in just 1 week. The engagements went up by 10 compared to before. The outbound clicks didn't really change, and something also to mention is that on my Etsy I didn't really get any sales, so there hasn't really been a sort of turnout from that. And saves went up by 2, but the overall audience increased as well, so you can see it went up quite a bit, and then the engaged audience went up by 5. So overall I would say that this was somewhat successful. So I was actually kind of expecting an improvement, which I have seen in all of these. Here I was expecting it to be higher for the clicks, but I'm not sure, again, as I mentioned previously, if Pinterest is even counting some of them, because I did see a jump in visits to my store that were direct visits, so direct click visits, and I'm not going to take this one too seriously. So overall I think it's good. The impressions I'm most impressed about, no pun intended, but and you can see that it is showing up in a lot more people's pages, so that's very good to see. But overall I would say that this was a great experiment to do, and if I keep going on with it for longer and longer, I'm sure that it will lead to success eventually, and to a high amount of people coming to my Pinterest pages. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one.